I know it's been a while, but today I have some giant Fnaf news to talk about. I thought it was worthy of its own video because this movie has been 8 years in the making. 8 years ago, in this exact same month of April, the Fnaf movie was announced. And since then, I've been giving Fnaf news updates on Twitter until I eventually moved to YouTube, and it's a wild feeling for me to sit here today and tell you that the Fnaf movie officially has a release date and a teaser image. So in this short little video, we're going to discuss the release date and the teaser image. I have some things to say. I hope you're ready to watch and discuss with me. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and let's get started. First of all, the movie is coming out October 27th, 2023. I'm just gonna say that is a lot sooner than I thought it would be. This movie literally just got done filming a couple days ago, so I can't even believe that it's already gonna come out only 6 months from now. And if you need more proof, here's the official post from Jason Blum saying, "As promised, Fnaf fans, you asked and we delivered. The Fnaf movie is coming this Halloween on October 27th, 2023. 205 days until the party," and that is the big news. If you don't know, yesterday Jason tweeted the word tomorrow, which Fnaf fans know what that means. Big Fnaf news was coming today, and it came late in the day, but it finally came. The release date for the Fnaf movie, and also a teaser. Like I said, this release date is a lot earlier than I thought it was going to be, and I think there's a good reason for that. I think this movie uses a lot more practical effects rather than CGI. I said this in a video last year about the Fnaf movie, but Blumhouse is known for making lower budget horror movies, and their time between filming and the movie coming out usually isn't as long as like a Marvel movie would be. Marvel movies have a ton of CGI, they take a ton of time, but the reason this movie only needs 6 months in post-production is because all of these things are practical effects. All of the OG Fnaf YouTubers, Dawko, Raz, Baz, and 8-Bit Ryan got to go see the Fnaf movie set, and they said that it's a real pizzeria. They emphasized how real it looks, and I think that's because they didn't want to use too much CGI in this movie. Because of the style of Five Nights at Freddy's, I think this movie would be better with practical effects anyway. I think too much CGI would just take people out of it. But yes, October 27th is way earlier than I thought. I thought it was going to be like early next year because horror movies usually come out like January, February, March. They also come out towards October because it's obviously Halloween. And I think that's the best idea. They really want to take advantage of that Halloween season, and I think that's a great idea because November wouldn't feel right, December wouldn't feel right, and October feels just right. It's also coming out October 27th, a few days before Halloween, so they have that first weekend to rake in the box office. The one not so good thing, the one thing I'm worried about this news is that the movie is coming out in theaters on October 27th, but it's also coming out on streaming the same day. That is not the best thing for this movie, because if this movie comes out on Peacock the same day it comes out in theaters, there's a chunk of people who are not going to go to the movie theaters, which will lessen its box office. So although the Fnaf movie is coming out in theaters, we will never know its true potential in the box office because it's also coming out on a streaming platform the same day. This is kind of just a marketing move to get people on Peacock, which is meh. I really wish that wasn't happening, but who really cares? I'm gonna be in the theaters. Let's show everyone how big this movie is actually gonna be, because every tweet I see about news about the Fnaf movie has like 100,000 likes, so obviously there's a ton of people interested in this movie. But the most exciting thing to come out of tonight is the teaser image, so let's take a look at that. So this is the first official teaser image for the Fnaf movie, and as you can see, we got the pizzeria. It is run down, there is vines everywhere. They did a great job at dressing up this set and making the pizzeria look abandoned. You see the vines all over the place. You see the fences around the door that are no longer surrounding the doors, which means we're probably going to go in that place. You see Freddy Fazbear standing in front of the pizzeria with Piper Rubio, I believe, who is playing Mike's younger sister, and she is holding hands with Freddy Fazbear in front of the Freddy Fazbear's pizzeria. Some really interesting things to point out. It looks like Freddy's ear is gone, so this is probably a withered version of Freddy. I think this is probably for a flashback image. I think this is probably for a nightmare, maybe some dream sequence. I don't know, because if you keep up on Fnaf movie leaks, we saw them filming this, and it doesn't look like they were doing any big action sequences. It looks like this just might be like a still image that shows up in the movie. I can imagine this being like a dream sequence for sure. Also, things to point out, Freddy's arm thing is a little too far down. I think that's just because it's an animatronic and it's standing there and it's not on the main stage. It's not really prepped like it usually is, so some of the pieces are falling down, but this is also a withered version of Freddy, so who knows. Also, the most interesting thing about this is these are actual animatronics. The YouTubers that got to go to the Fnaf movie set emphasized that these are actual animatronics and they are very expressive. I'm guessing their eyebrows move. I'm guessing they have lights all over the place. They emphasized how expressive these animatronics are, and I can't believe they're actual animatronics because that seems really expensive. As you probably saw in the Jim Henson Creature Shop teaser image we got a while ago, there was a human standing inside this suit. So we thought, oh, these are probably probably just gonna be suits. Someone's gonna stand in them and they're gonna act like an animatronic. That's probably cheaper. Blumhouse is usually a lower budget film studio, so that kind of makes sense. But no, these are real animatronics, which is insane. So one thing I want to point out is that Freddy has white gloves up here. People were really worried about that, but it looks like he doesn't actually have white gloves. These look like the exact same colors as the original FNAF 1 animatronics, and I know people were worried about that. I know they didn't want like Help Wanted's colors or any other colors. They wanted the original colors, and it looks like that's what we're getting, along with the original textures. But yes, no white gloves on Freddy, and I have a theory for that, a little game theory. I need more proof, a little film theory. This sign is basically ripped right out of Chuck E. Cheese's sign. It's the same font, it's the same colors on the font, and the white gloves are also a Chuck E. Cheese thing. It's kind of the same pose. I also want to point out how big this sign is. Dawko got to stand next to this sign when he visited the FNAF movie set, and that man is not short. I can back this up because I got to meet him the other day, and he is very tall. So this sign is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I cannot overstate how excited I am and how proud I am of everyone in this process, including Scott. I am beyond excited for this movie. It has been 8 long years since this movie was announced, and I cannot believe that it's finally happening. Are you going to see it? Of course you're going to see it. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you again very soon.